Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're going to go through how to set up and use Telescript's NDI monitors. It's easier than you think, so let's get into it. Now in case you didn't know, NDI stands for Network Device Interface, which is a video over IP transmission protocol. NDI compresses video that can be decoded on NDI decoders that are on the same network as the encoder. Now the first thing you'll need to do is download NDI tools from ndi.tv. Now these tools are free to download and use, and you'll get everything you need in this one download. Now that you've got NDI tools installed, you're going to want to run NDI screen capture, which will make your laptop available as an NDI source on your network. Now that screen capture is running, we'll let that run in the background, and now we can talk about networking. Now setting up an NDI decoder and encoder on your network is really not that complicated. Really all you need is a little information about your router and the default gateway of your network. Now to access your router, you first need its IP address, or its default gateway. If you're working in Windows, type command in the lower left search bar. At the command prompt, type ipconfig and hit enter. A bunch of numbers will come up, but the one we're looking for is the Ethernet adapter's default gateway, which in most cases with standard routers should be 192.168.1.1. Now that we know the default gateway, open a browser and type the default gateway IP address into the browser in the same spot you would normally type a web address. Hit enter and you'll most likely be brought to a login screen. You'll need to know the user ID and password in order to access the router's menu. If you've never logged into your router before, the ID and password are probably still set to the defaults that came with the router. So check your router's documentation for that ID and password. So once you make it into the router's main menu, you're going to look for something that tells you about attached devices that are on the network. Here is where you'll find the IP addresses of all the NDI encoders and decoders that are on the network. And once you plug in the monitor, that will also show you what its IP address is. So let's go ahead and do that. On the side of your Telescript IP monitor with NDI, you'll find the Ethernet port. Plug an Ethernet cable into that NDI port. Now plug the other end into the same router the computer you are running NDI screen capture is on. Now there are a lot of other more involved ways that you can be connected to the same network as your laptop, but for the purposes of today's video, we're going to work at a very basic level. Next, make sure your monitor is set to the NDI input by using the input button on the face of the monitor. Now initially you will not see any image because you have not yet told the monitor what NDI stream you're looking to decode. Now this is where we need to go back to the computer and find out what the IP address is of the monitor so we can access the user interface. As you can see here, the router has assigned the IP address of 192.168.1.17 to the monitor. One of the ways you can identify the monitor is the name of the device that comes up in the device name list. Currently, this router is assigning the name Telescript to this monitor. However, the default name of each device is going to be Telescript dash and then a long set of numbers, which is its serial number. This name can be changed if you want once you access the monitor's interface. Now take that IP address and enter it into your browser. You'll come to another login screen. The default user password for all new Telescript monitors is admin and admin. You will now be brought to the monitor's interface. So across the top, you're going to see some information on the video feed the monitor is currently decoding. Since we're not currently decoding anything, we need to go down to the device list at the bottom of the page. As you can see, we have a few NDI devices on this list, and one of them is the monitor, and the others are computers that are currently running screen capture. On the right, select the decode option, and the NDI stream coming from that laptop should now come up on the monitor, like so. Another way you could change or find NDI streams is by using the buttons on the side of the monitor. Pressing the buttons, the monitor will move through the various NDI streams on the network. The monitor's interface allows you to assign frequently used streams, you can rename the device, there's a tally indicator function that can trigger a Telescript digit tally if you have one. You can also assign a static IP address, so if for some reason your network loses power, the IP address of the monitor does not get reassigned by the router when it boots back up. Another way to locate your Telescript monitor on the network is by its default IP address, which is 192.168.1.168. This is helpful in finding the device if you don't have access to your router's interface. So those are the very basics of Telescript's IP monitors with NDI. If you have any questions that we didn't talk about here, please give us a call at 201-767-6733 or send us an email at info@telescript.com. Thanks for watching.